Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel, Real Talk with your girl, Lady D. Guys, look, I'm gonna go ahead and talk about Kanye West again, seeing how these big. Hold on one second. Guys, look. Sorry about that. Hold on one second. We're gonna go ahead and talk about Kanye West again, how these big old corporate companies they are dropping him. But we're gonna talk about this because, like I said, it's more than meets the eye. But I have a special guest, Moouche. That's my son. He's gonna go by the name Moouche. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna battle it out. We're gonna talk. Like I said, we have a right to agree to disagree, and we don't agree to everything. But like I said, we just got to go ahead and comb through it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and play the timer back, see if I can go ahead and get more people in. But before you come in, guys, make sure you go ahead and hit like, comment, and share these videos for more unapologetic content. Oh man, I had my mic on mute. I think I had my mic on mute. Hey, sorry about that, guys. I think I had my mic on mute, but I have someone in here with me. That is my son. What we're going to do is we're going to battle it out. We're going to talk about Kanye West and how the big corporations, they are dropping them like flies, and he and I, we do not agree, but we have the right to agree to disagree. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to battle it out. So what's up, Moouche? You can get your mic, unmute your mic.
All right. Now, I was making sure you didn't hear this background noise.
Oh, okay. So how are you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
Doing great. So we're gonna go ahead and battle it out, guys. I was gonna wait for a little more to come on in, but we can go ahead and start from this because I want to comb through it because I think that is more than meets the eye when it comes to Kanye West. I don't think that we should just go ahead and just cancel him out just as so quick. Just go ahead and just try to see if we can see what he's working with, because I think that he's doing a chess move. What do you think about all that?
I don't think he's doing a cat move. I think he's showing us exactly who he is. Whether he has a mental disorder or what, but I don't think it's part of any calculated move to sit there and lose money. When you're doing the chess move, you're doing moves to sit there and try to win. You're trying to gain something, and you're not gaining anything if you lose the money, unless he has another bigger corporation in the works sitting there that's going to pick him up. But right now, nobody's going to touch him, and he lost his billionaire status, so he's no longer a billionaire once he got dropped by Adidas, which probably doesn't matter to him, but he's also blowing through money like crazy. So I don't if he has a bigger play, I don't see it.
But I was watching some of the tweets that he had put out there months ago where he wanted to detach himself from Adidas because he's saying that he wanted to be a part of the board, but they didn't want it to add him. And he been wanted out of it. So who to say that maybe that's the way that he went about it? Because sometimes when we cause chaos and start making a loud noise and people don't hear us until we do something that's crazy. So who to say that Kanye wanted to get out of his contract with Adidas, which he did say that. And that's the way that he went about it. And just because, we looking at what is going out there in the media, because, the media is just a beast. They're going to twist it the way that they want to twist it. But who to say that Kanye may wanted to get out this contract, and if they dropped him, that does not mean that he have to just stay here in the United States. He can take his business somewhere else, just like the money in Chase. Remember when they say Chase wanted to take his money? He wanted
Yeah,
Kanye to take his
but
money out.
in the same sense, you don't quit a job before you have another job.
But
And
who to say he had something, his ace in the pocket? He probably had something else going on.
I mean, it's not like he was hurting for money. So Adidas made him a billionaire. I'm not saying that he had to stay with Adidas, but if you wanted out of your contract with Adidas, I mean, he has enough money and power to where he could have said and say, all right, I want to end our partnership or whatever. It's not like they was gonna hold him hostage or whatever. So I'm pretty sure he was smart enough to sit or his lawyers to have a clause in there that either one of them can walk away from the deal at any point in time. Because I'm pretty sure when they first started doing business with him, they didn't give him an ironclad contract because they didn't know what his whole Yeezy brand was going to be about. They
Hmm.
didn't know how successful it was. So I'm pretty sure they gave him, you know, a contract to where he'll be able to sit there and walk away, or they could be able to walk away. So again, it's not like he needed the money. So to come out and do all the extra stuff that he's doing, and like what you were saying for to get the attention, I don't think he needed to do that. He got one of the loudest platforms already, so it's not like he needed another platform.
Hmm.
If he wanna reach millions of people, all he gotta do is drop an album. Say he's dropping an album, and people gonna flock and listen to him. But what he's doing now, I don't think it's part of any larger chess move. I think that's he a hypocrite. You know,
I
you
wouldn't go
you
that far.
I would. You went from being on national TV doing Hurricane Katrina, standing next to I forget the guy's name, saying George Bush doesn't care about black people. Doing with the whole Hurricane Katrina thing, and now fast forward, here you are wearing a White Lives Matter T-shirt. So should we get on national TV and say the same thing about you?
But let me go ahead and say about Adidas. You're saying that Adidas, like they made Kanye West. First of all, they said, and I'm gonna say allegedly, they say Adidas was tanking, wasn't doing good at all until Kanye came on board. That's just like with Gap. They said that Kanye had came out and said, he have more money than Gap. So why, if anything, he's doing these people a favor.
Yeah. So
So
if
if he
he's doing
take
them a
he,
favor, if he's doing them a favor, then it doesn't matter if he is, they wouldn't want to drop him if he's doing them a favor. I mean, yeah,
well,
they
he
may
he
have been
wanted out.
tanking.
He wanted out in the beginning, but they didn't want to let him out his contract. He
So you
wanted
say,
out.
so you saying in order to get out of one contract, he decided to sit there and get dropped from 50 other ones and alienate himself in a whole community and lose friends and lose money just to get out of one contract.
But just say that he have something bigger, where I say, maybe this is a chess move. If he don't want to work with these corporate in America, he wants his own company. He can go elsewhere. He can go to China, and he can get do his own stuff, build his own company. He don't have to rely on Adidas and Gap. He can
Yeah.
he can pour in billions of dollars if he use his head and say, "Want me to tell you, I'm going to China, and I'm going to have them to make my whatever would he ever want to make, and I can build my own empire." He don't need them. We think that we have to
Yeah,
sit at the table when we can own the entire house.
yeah, but I don't
You don't
I don't
see.
think it I don't think it's about that. I mean, if uh,
I think it
he
is.
if he wanted to sit there and own his own stuff, he he can do that. He could have went to China at any point in time. He didn't
Not
need to
if
sit
he under contract with Adidas and
there.
all these other
He's just
companies.
he's under contract. I mean, he could easily have gotten out of the contract or whatever, but that's not what it that's not what it's about because all they weren't making his clothes. They just were distributing his clothes and giving him a bigger platform to sell his clothes. So now, when you're gonna go in business on your own and you're not gonna have any distribution and you're gonna make them in China and then you're gonna pay all this money to ship them back to the United States to sell, then you gotta pay for your own distribution to be able to sit there and market them, all out. Nah,
I don't
you're
know.
gonna
I don't know.
now who's gonna be your backers? Who's gonna invest in it? Because he don't have the money to sit there and start it all by himself. Who's gonna
But he said
invest
he's a
with him?
multi-billionaire. We going by what Forbes is saying. You don't know what's in his account. And you, like I said, we looking at the numbers. You can
Yeah,
take lemons and make it turn it into lemonades. I can do a lot with just 1 million, but this dude, he's a multi-billionaire. And even if he's not a multi-billionaire, he's worth $400 million. That's a lot of money. And
yeah,
if you
but
cannot do something
work.
with that, then something is.
But see what people fail to realize your work and what you actually have is two different things.
Hmm.
I can be worth $2 million. That doesn't mean I have $2 million in the bank. That just means with companies and investments that I have, that's how much all of it makes me worth. That doesn't mean I have millions in the bank. I may only have, maybe a couple of $1,000 in liquid cash,
Hmm.
but for him, yeah, he was worth $1 billion, but he was worth $1 billion because of the contracts and the investments he had. Now, once they dropped him, his worth dropped. Now, what he
Hmm.
has in the bank, he may only have maybe $100 million in the bank, liquid cash to sit there and go, pull out. But his worth was $1 billion. So he don't have that to sit there and go. That's why a lot of celebrities, they live in these multi-million-dollar mansions that they're paying a mortgage on. He was like,
Hmm.
okay, well, you worth 100 and something million. Why are you paying mortgage on a $10 million home? Well, it's because you don't have $100 million. That's how much you worth. In the bank, you probably only have $20 million. So you're not gonna go spend the whole 20 million on buying a $20 million house out. You're gonna build it and then you're gonna be paying mortgage. So for him, that's the problem right now. He was worth the billion, not anymore since the contract dropped, and now he's blowing through the liquid cash he had, which that's what's gonna hurt him.
Hmm.
Living in all these hotels, renting all these houses, building all these houses that, you're gonna have mortgages, and if everybody's dropping you and you are alienating the friends that you're gonna need to sit there and invest with you, to get your stuff, then who you gonna turn to? Yeah, you can
Yeah,
go
but
to China.
I was thinking that we look at, like, we need people. All we need is us to come together, and I think that's what it is. If we can stick together, we can do a lot of stuff right in our community, our own Black community, where we don't even need them. And
But who is
why
who is who is we? You say
our
if we stick together.
I'm talking about the Black community. If we come together and start building together, we can have our Black businesses. We can
Yeah,
be just like Black Wall Street. We can have our own banks. We
I
really
agree.
don't need them. We looking at
But
that we need them. As long as they feel that we need them, they gonna continue doing what they doing to us
so
until
let
we
me
exit out.
so let me ask you this because I agree with that. So when it pertains to Kanye West, well, you say he doesn't need them. He needs to sit there and look to us to sit there and help him. Well, us is the ones that he just alienated. So you didn't want to sit there and be at, you know, the man's table, and you wanted to sit there and have us, you know, as blacks invest in you, then why would you go ahead and decide, hey, you know what? I don't want to be with any of these white corporations. I don't want to have a seat at their table. I want to create my own. I want to create it for my people. I want my people to invest in it, you know, so we can grow something. So
Hmm.
the best way I think we can be able to, I can get my people on board with me is to wear a White Lives Matter shirt.
Hmm. And that's why I think that he only did that to get us talking. And that's why we talking today. And when this is how I look at it. When he talked about those white lies t-shirt matter, when he talked about those, well, he made those shirts, and also when he talked about blacks, about slavery was a choice and all this other stuff, they didn't cancel him out on that. Long as he was talking about his people, they didn't cancel him. But when he started talking about being anti-Semitic, talking about we are the real Jays. We can't even say Jays. We can say black all day, but we cannot even say their name. And he said the minute when he started talking against them, he said he was going to go and they was going to start canceling him. And that's what I think. When he made those t-shirts, they was happy. They was all Kanye, Kanye. They was praising him. But the minute when he started talking about them, then that's when action took place. And that's what we don't see.
Well, I think we see it. We,
But they didn't
you,
cancel.
you,
Long as we
you,
cancel, they didn't cancel us. When he
you.
talked about us, they didn't cancel him.
The real black community stopped messing with Kanye years ago when he came out and said that slavery was a choice. We had enough money to where we could have bought our freedom. People stopped
Mhm,
rocking with Kanye then, but we weren't in that whole cancel culture then because it was like, all right, well, we don't really rock with him like that
mhm.
because that was stupid to say or whatever. He may have gone through something, so you know, even Charlemagne, who was his best friend, so then you know
Oh,
got
I made
on
a
and said
video on him. I
and,
need to I
and
need to show you
said
that video.
that you know, hey, I'm not rocking with him no more. I think
Hmm.
something's going on with him, you know, and then all of a sudden, then you know now, yeah, he's the rest of the other side is wanting to cancel him because now you getting too out of control right now.
Yeah,
Like
but no
there's a
one took
way
action. No one took action until he started talking about them.
he ain't have anything to take action. He wasn't a
Mm-mm.
billionaire back then when he was saying
No,
that.
I'm talking about now. When he's talked about, which he didn't meant DEFCON, the DEAT. He was talking about, I guess, uh, whatever. He didn't meant what he said, but they took that one word and they went ahead and twisted. And when he was talking about, we could have freed ourselves, you have to look at it another way. When he said slavery is a choice, which I don't, like I said, they say, I don't take all of his word for value. I know how to
Do you
chew the
think
fish and
slavery was
spit
a
out the bones.
Do you
I
think
think
slavery was a choice?
what I think, which I don't agree with him, but what I think, if I can sit there and get in Kanye's brains, and from a spiritual point of view, what I think that what he meant is that if I was a slave in those days, I would rather just take myself out than be a slave. That's what I really think that he meant. If
Good.
so
We.
right there, that's what he meant. Slavery was a choice, means that
Mm-mm.
if they said that they make a slave, before I sat there and go into their fields and clean up they children and whatever and take all this crap, I'd rather for you to go ahead and take me out. So that's
Uh,
what I really think that he meant.
well, I'm there. There was so
Put
many
yourself in that
slaves.
position. If
Well,
just say
hold
if we
on.
had to go
I'm
back
a,
in
no, no,
time.
I'm a speak on it. One, there was plenty of slaves who jumped off the ship on their
Thank
way
you.
here to
Thank
kill
you.
themselves. But
That was a choice.
the other ones wasn't going to sit there and commit suicide because they probably didn't believe in that. Most likely they didn't,
Mm-hmm.
and why you gonna if you got stolen with your wife and your kids, why are you gonna kill yourself without knowing what happened to them?
But just say
Yeah,
right
that's
now,
no,
if
no,
they
let me finish.
separate,
No, no.
okay,
So let me
okay,
finish.
okay,
So
and
so
that's why I
then
like to talk to him. I love
so
to
so
talk to my
so
son.
so then second thing, I got a saying I like to say because you say you was trying to get into the mind of Kanye. I got another saying. You're not supposed to understand stupid because you're not stupid. It's
Maybe
not
it's
supposed
critical thinking.
it's not supposed to make sense to you because you're not stupid. Now when it starts making sense to you, then you got to worry.
Okay.
He is smart enough, privileged enough to sit there and speak straight out of his mouth instead of going all the way around the world to sit there and speak hyperboles. He can easily sit there and say slave. He could easily say, to me, I think slavery could have been a choice because if they didn't want to be slaves, they could have killed themselves or they could have
Hmm.
committed suicide. No, he said slavery was a choice because they had enough money. His words, his exact words, and I quote:
Who had enough
"Slavery,
money?
slavery." This is his exact words, and I quote: "Slavery was a choice because the black people had enough money to where they could have bought their freedom." What
Mm.
money that the slaves said they wasn't getting paid
Well,
until
how can a
way
slave have enough money when they were slaves? I didn't never see
you
that. I'm
got
gonna have to Google that.
you
I didn't see that. I'm
that
telling
was
you, I
the
didn't see that.
see that because you only heard the first part of it.
Well,
The
I'm gonna
rest of
have
the
to
part
Google that.
The rest of the part he said was he thought slavery was a choice because
Hey,
uh,
X.
they had enough
Well, let me
money
let
to
me
where
take this person off.
they could have brought they could have bought their freedom. And no, that wasn't the case. We didn't have food to eat. That's where soul food came from because we was
Hmm.
eating the slops, so we had to create stuff to sit there and eat.
But I think he was talking about in the beginning when they sat there and brought us here, and when they, I think that's what he was talking about. I just can't see how he can say that, which we had enough money, we was rich, but we didn't idolize those things. They knew about our gold, our oil, because they investigated on us, they spied us out, and that's why they was able to colonize us.
So
So
let me
we
ask
didn't.
you this. Let me ask you this. If I came to your house right now,
Mhm.
kidnapped you and took you like just right now.
That's what I was
No,
going to tell you, the same thing.
right now. If I came to your house right now,
Mhm.
kidnapped you, took you on a boat ride or a car ride, you didn't know where we were going. Would you go ahead and just kill yourself?
I was
That's a
going to
yes or
ask you to,
no. That's a yes or no. If I
I,
came right now to your house, if all right, if anybody, if some strange man
I
right
was
now
going to tell you the
came
same thing.
came to your house right now, kidnapped you and took you on a ride, you didn't know where you were going. Would you kill yourself?
First I'm going to fight for my life.
Okay, so
And I was going to ask you the same question. I was going to
but
fight for my life.
you're
If I'm
handcuffed and
bound and I'm
shackled.
tied up, if I'm
You
bound
only
and tied up, first before he bound and tied me up, I'm going to fight for my life. And even if it got to take my life out,
but
because
I'm saying you already caught.
because
You already
it
caught.
could be either way. It could be either way. Even if I go where he's at, either he might have killed me from he might just end up
But you
killing me anyway. So I might as well go out fighting. Come
but
on.
I
And that's
but
where
I
I'm
you
talking
ain't
about that
but you
critical
ain't answer
thinking.
the question. I said
I'm
if
gonna
he kidnapped
answer
you,
the question. I
I
say,
no,
okay,
I
go
ain't
ahead,
say
go
if
ahead, go
I ain't
ahead.
say I didn't say if he was attempting to kidnap you. I said if a man came and kidnapped you, which means you
Okay,
already kidnapped, and he is taking you on a ride, which means now you already caught, you already
okay,
bound. There ain't no more
tied up.
fighting because you caught now, and it's taking
Hmm.
you on the ride.
Okay,
All you gonna
I can't hear you. You done broke up. You done broke up. I can't hear you. I guess he done lost mic. But until he come back on, if you can hear me
oh,
now, you can hear
yeah,
me. Well, let me
yeah,
tell you this. Okay, can I answer it?
yeah. Go ahead.
Okay, if you saying if someone come and kidnap me, tie me up, and take me to some place, right?
Yep.
Okay, sooner or later he's whatever, he might kill me from the start. But if I can sit there and break a loose, I'm gonna either try to run, or I'm gonna sit there and look, we gonna fight, even if it got to take my life.
But I'm not talking about escaping. I'm not talking about fighting. I'm talking about, are you going to take your life? I'm not talking about what you're going to do to sit there and try to free yourself, because
I
that wasn't
just
his
told
argument.
you.
He said slavery was a choice,
Mhm.
which means we open the door and say, all right, yep.
I don't
Uh,
think he meant it
uh,
like that. That's the way
that,
that they took it and spend it.
but he's you saying he meant it as we could have just killed ourselves instead of sitting there going to slavery. So
Let me ask you,
I'm
can I?
asking you.
Okay, this is what I'm saying. If they would have taken me and separated me from my family and have me watching others like me being whipped, being beat, and I got to constantly watch this, I will be another Nat Turner. You hear me? I'll
But
be
Nat
another.
Turner didn't come.
I'll be another Kuta Kinte. I'm gonna keep running until they cut my legs off.
But see,
I
you
think
avoid
slavery is in the mind.
you avoiding the answer. You can't be another Kuta Kinte, because Kuta Kinte didn't have a Kuta Kinte to sit there and say I'll be Kuta Kinte.
But
That's the choice he made.
he didn't have it in his mind. In his mind he was free. He died
Yeah,
a free man. He didn't die a slave.
but again, not fighting to sit there and escape. I'm saying when you had the chance to sit there and grab something, would you grab something to sit there and commit suicide?
I would grab something and first, I'm not gonna tell you no lie. I would grab something and I would try to take them out.
No,
And
again,
if I can't take them,
you avoid the question. I don't want to hear about escaping. I'm saying we'll get to the part of escaping and trying to free yourself and take them out later. I'm saying if you were enslaved and you had got a knife, the white man is gone. He's in the house somewhere, so it's just you by yourself. Are
uh-huh.
you gonna take that knife that you have now and just go ahead and commit suicide?
No.
Okay, so that debunks this whole thing right there,
No, it
and
doesn't,
your
because
thing where you say
I still got it in my hand. Now how I use it,
now we can talk about
okay,
escaping and trying to take them
okay,
out.
okay,
But
okay.
you saying, instead of you saying you wouldn't have wanted to be no slave at all. You would have just sit there and committed suicide. You would have ended it all. And
I
that's the
didn't
point I
say
was
that. I
trying to
didn't
make.
say that. I didn't say that.
Well, you said
I
that's
didn't
what
say I
Kanye
would.
was
I
saying.
didn't say that.
Well,
You putting
you
words
got
in my mouth. I
you
didn't
got to
even
run the
mention
tape back.
I didn't mention the S word. You say the
Slavery,
S word. I'm talking about
slavery,
suicide. I ain't talking about
slavery.
slavery. I'm talking about suicide. I didn't say I was gonna take my life out.
But you said rather than be a slave, you would have said and well, you said you would have just ended it all, right?
I would try to take somebody else out with me. I ain't going out by
Well,
myself.
yeah,
I would be
yeah,
another Nat Turner.
but that's history is not going to sit there and teach you
Hmm.
all the slaves that sit there and tried to get away.
Thank
You,
you.
you're not gonna hear about that. But so you thinking, and other people are thinking that, oh, we got taken. They came to Africa and they told us get on the ship, and we all just sat there and walked, got on the ship, and then
Mm-mm,
once we got to America, they say, hey, you're gonna be going here, and we all just got in line and we did what we were. That's how it
mm-mm.
went. There was millions that sit there and lost their lives from fighting, trying to get away or
Yes,
whatever. But
yes.
but it's it's the cage dog mentality.
Hmm.
If you don't have anything, you've been on. You know how long you've been on those ships? You
Hmm.
was on. You know how long it took? How long the average ship ride
I
from
couldn't
Africa was?
imagine. I couldn't imagine.
It was 2 months of you laying completely flat with three other people piled on top of you, shackled
Hmm.
down. It wasn't no getting up, going stretch your legs. So for 2 months, Can you? How many times you been in the bed or whatever for a whole day? You got out of bed, you're like, "Whew, what? My legs
Yeah,
fell asleep."
yeah.
So for 2 months with no food, no water, well, little food, little water, but you
Hmm.
pinned down in that position for 2 months. What fight you think you're gonna be able to do once they sit there and bring you to the shore against these big healthy people who's been eating and getting fat? You
I
can't
could
even sit in there stand.
I couldn't do nothing, and that's why a lot of people didn't make it. Because and that's why a lot of them it has a Bible scripture for that. And I didn't make my presentation because, like I said, it was a spare of a moment that you and I came together. But me and you, we had some deep conversation on debating and talking, and that's why I love you to death because you. Thank you, College. She said, College said, great conversation. Yes, this is my son. Guys, welcome him. Let me go ahead and post this. This is College. She's saying, hey, Lady D and guest, great conversation. This is my son. Him and I, we used to talk every day about political stuff. With I'm not too much in political debates and stuff, but he knows a lot about all this stuff. And we used to talk every day about this. And I say I want to get my son on so we can go ahead and talk about it. But guys, welcome to my live. Guys, feel free, but make sure you go ahead and hit like, comment, and share these videos for more unapologetic content. She say, "Hey, son," speak to a Moouche.
Hey, how you doing?
Yeah, but this is, trust me, this is the way that he and we talk. Okay, if I want to know any and everything, I call him and we sit there and we debate it out. But he I don't we have a right to agree to disagree, and that's why I like him. But I don't agree now. I might be wrong. Come on, College, help a sister out, because like I said, everybody be telling me I'm always got to sit there and see the good in everybody. Maybe, like I said, I don't have all the answers, but I try to see the good in everything, guys. But I just cannot see myself being a slave. I
Well,
just
nobody
cannot
can
see
see.
myself being
Nobody.
separated from my family. And I'm sitting there. First, they got to sit there. They have to
Okay,
break the mind. They have to really sit there and,
and
and
they
take your
broke
mind
them,
from you.
and they broke the mind on that two
Yes.
month boat ride in complete darkness,
Yes.
pinned down. It's the same. See, you never
So,
been in the military. The
mhm,
in the see in the military when we go through boot camp, the first thing they do, we don't go to training and starting
yes.
to learn about it. First thing they do is 3 whole days where we're not sleeping, eating, going to the
Yes.
bathroom. We're standing up, and it's to sit there and break the mind so you can sit there
And I
and build
told
you
him that.
up
I
after
did
that.
not tell you that, College. I told him that. I remember
So
when I went to when we went to sign you in, when you went to go sign in, when you was in the Marines. I remember the sergeant had told you guys when y'all first signed up. He said everything that y'all taught on the street, we gonna take it all from you. And pretty much they was telling you we gonna brainwash you guys.
so that's what they did. And you said you right now I can't see myself as being no slave. I would have did this and I would have did that. You're thinking like today. You're thinking your your current self living in the house on the video self right now. Can you see yourself being a billionaire?
Can I see myself a billionaire?
Yeah. Can you see
Of
yourself a
course.
billionaire?
Yes, of
No, no, no,
course.
no, no. Can you if somebody made you a billionaire right now, would you be able to function in the billionaire's world?
Well, I almost was there. I
No,
almost.
no, no. That's a yes or no. If somebody made you a billionaire right now, would you be able to function in a billionaire's world?
I had adapt. I could
That's a
adapt
that's
because
a that's
I
a
can
yes or
adapt
no.
because
That's a yes or no.
yes,
If
yes, I can. Yes, I can.
so right now, if I gave you $1 billion and said right now, I want you to start moving in the billionaire circle, do you think
Mhm.
you'd be able to do that?
Yes, and let me tell
I
you
can tell
why.
you. I can tell you
You
flat.
see, you asking me a question, but you're not giving me a chance to
Okay, go
answer.
ahead. Go ahead.
When I had my business, I was almost there. And the thing about it is that when how can I sit there and say it? You're gonna adapt It's just that people is gonna think that you changing. Yeah, I might be changing to a better home, a better lifestyle, and it's people the ones sit there and say, "Oh, she changed. Oh, she different." So you're gonna have so many people attached to you that never came into, never been in your circle because they're a bunch of leeches. So money is gonna, just like flies, it's gonna attract a lot of people.
So right now, I gave you a billion. You got $1 billion.
Uh-huh.
Who's the first person you call?
If I have a billionaire, if I have $1 billion, and the first person that I'm gonna call,
Yeah, who's the first person you call?
I don't know if I'm gonna call anyone. I won't know if I'm gonna call you. I'm not gonna tell you no lie. I'm not gonna
So
call you.
that
I'm
so,
gonna
so
sit
that
there.
prove what are you gonna do? You got 10 minutes. They get you $1 billion. You got 10 minutes.
Mhm.
What are you gonna do?
If I have 10 billion, the first thing that I'm gonna do, I'm gonna invest it wisely because I'm a good steward when it comes to money.
You gonna invest it
If
in
I
what?
got money, I will invest it wisely.
So right now, I'm gonna tell you why I was saying you wouldn't know what to do.
Hold on, let me
And
answer
no,
this question. College say honest, Kanye's a clown. He doesn't care about anyone but himself. And she also said Ye thought because he was a billionaire, he was going to be allowed to say anything. He doesn't understand who rules the world. It's the folks he spoke negative about. And see, that's another thing that I have a problem with. And the reason I have a problem with, because we put these people to a higher standards. And like I say, giants does fall just because we looking at these people are more powerful, but you got to realize that these people rode off the backs of black slaves, off of the black community, and that's how they got where they are today. That's how I look at it. If you sit there and you stop supporting these people, stop feeding these people, sooner their kingdom is going to fall. That's how I look at it. So I'm not going to look at you, oh, you afraid. That's just like in the Bible when Moses had told the 12 spies to go out there and spy out in the land of Canaan. They came back with a bad report. Only two came back with a good report, and that was Joshua and Caleb. And they told them that it got giants in there, but they saw the bigger picture, how they can prosper and flourish in that town. They wasn't worrying about the giants that was in that country, because giants do fall. Look at David. Small David, he took two rocks and five rocks and a slingshot, and he slew down, which that's a metaphor, but I'm just saying, it's an allegory. He slew down Goliath, a giant. So giants does fall. She says, sorry, it has nothing to do with how you stand. It's really respectful. Yeah, girl, just talk. You know how we is in here. Give your opinion. We have a right to agree to disagree. I like it. That's why I got my son on it, because I know that he and I, you know, we're not gonna agree on everything. But
so
like I say, that's the fun part about it. You
so
doing
let me.
good, college.
So I'm gonna tell you the point I was trying to make about the billionaire thing, and then I'll speak
Mhm.
on the black wealth and the giant thing you talking about. So the reason why I was saying you wouldn't know how to move in the billionaire circle, and you said no, yes I would. I'll adapt. The first thing I asked you, what would you do with your $1 billion? Somebody gave you $1 billion right now. You said, "Oh,
Mhm.
I invested." You wouldn't know where to invest it. First of all, now you go next year you're gonna be locked up because I gave you $1 billion. You said nothing
See, you
about paying
speaking
your
for
tax.
myself. You
But hold
speaking
up,
for yourself.
you said nothing about hire you an attorney, hire you a financial advisor
Well, that's
because
what
you
I
still,
did with my
but
business.
no,
Don't I have
no way,
accountants and an
but
attorney? I
but you
have
still
to
got.
with my business. When I
But,
started my business,
but you
didn't
got,
I have
but you
my
got let me,
attorney, my
but you got,
accountant?
but you got to let me finish.
Uh
But
huh.
you,
I didn't
you,
get deep with you.
but this is what you got to do. I said you got 10 minutes. I'm giving you $1 billion for 10 million, 10 minutes. What are you gonna do with it? You said invest. You don't realize you got to pay taxes on that twice. You got to pay taxes on it the first time that I give it to you because it's gonna be taxed, and then next year it's taxable income, so you're gonna be paying taxes on that again. So the point that you would eventually know how
You
what to
breaking
do. But
up. You're breaking up.
the the point was not to sit there and say that you won't be able to adapt in the circles. The point is that you don't know all the circles yet, so you don't know
Well, I
the
could have said that.
special banks. But that's what I'm telling you. That's the mentality that was instilled in us. That's why. And you say, well, us blacks, we need to come together. We should and stop doing this, and we'll be able to build our stuff. The cycle has been broken for us for years, and the way they did that was slavery, and then they did it again after slavery. They did it again in the '80s with the crack epidemic, when they sit there and introduced crack into the black community, so they could sit there and the strongest figure in the black household is the father. You take the father away,
And
now
that's
you
what
got
they did. That's how they
now you
broke
got
the.
the and so now the
Mhm.
only way we're gonna ever be successful is one, we got to change in our own household. We got to change in our own household. We got to be able to sit there and teach the young men and the young women to sit there and be responsible, so we can eventually break the cycle to where we can have that mentality.
Totally
Revolution break
agree.
out. Revolution break out right now. We don't got no leaders. Who gonna lead us? I mean, the
That's it.
revolution almost broke out a couple of years ago, and we did Black Lives Matter, and look what happened. Two of the founder members were sitting there siphoning millions of dollars out of the fund.
Hmm.
Because they don't have that mentality of march from Selma all the way to Montgomery like back in the day. You know, we've been whipped into black men ain't nothing. Black women, all they want to do is this or whatever. Black kids, they don't have no potential or whatever. It's not gonna be until we sit there and get that stable household together, sit there, keep these kids out of the streets and stuff like that. Teach them to sit there and want to be more than sitting there rapping
Totally
or
agree.
playing sports or whatever. And if you do play sports, teach them that your sole focus ain't sitting there carrying that ball.
Hmm.
Your sole focus should be sitting there getting that diploma, because you one knee injury away from sitting there having it all gone. And what you gonna fall back on?
I'm so proud of my son. And,
So,
and and the key thing is to train up a child in the way that they shall go. And what you said, look, I totally agree 100%. And we have to have more mindsets like that, but it's all starts with training. You don't have to have nothing. Train your kids in a way that they shall go and they won't depart. And that's why I look at you as the greatest father in the world when with your kids, because the background that you had, we may not had much at the time, but what we had was you was able to see, and lay the foundation for your kids. And that's how it is. But when you take the man out of the home, then the whole house fall. And see, that's the program that they did with us. When they take the black man out of the home, then they know that's when the whole entire community fall. So now we know the game that they play. That's why we have to learn to come together and keep the man in the home.
and then would you also say that we have to sit there and we have to uplift our community and
Yes.
do whatever we can to sit there and strengthen our community. Don't do anything that's gonna put a negative light or a black eye on our community, right? Would you say that?
Mhm. It
And would you
is,
which
but we did that. We did that, but
no
it's the
no
ones that coming in, and they
yeah
seen
so
that it's just like with Black Wall Street. We was doing everything that we needed to do, but they was looking from the outside in, and they came in and they corrupted off of a
so
lie.
so if you agree with all that, then you should disagree with what Kanye doing.
Okay, okay,
So you,
so
you
you
saw
gonna
you
turn it
saw you
back
saw
to
that you saw that setup and spike. You said we as black people shouldn't do anything that's gonna sit there and be a negative or a black eye in our community, right?
Mhm.
So so if it's all about money and if it's not all about money and it's about him trying to uh, play this grand chess game and sit there and lift up the black community, then you're not gonna do something that's gonna sit there and cause a negative black eye to the community.
I understand.
That white lives matter T-shirt. That white lives T-shirt was the equivalent of the
You see how my son do me?
the
Go ahead.
that white
You right?
lives T-shirt was the equivalent of that one black dude who was good with the white master who was telling on all the other black people.
Uh-huh.
He was in charge of making sure the other black people did what they were supposed to. That's what Kanye the equivalent that shirt was equivalent to.
I can't. I look. I got to get the last word. You see what I'm saying?
Well,
Okay.
look.
Under,
Let me leave you with this last little piece right here. Let me leave you with this last little piece here. True or false? Because this is embedded in our DNA.
uh-huh.
True or false? If you whenever you see a black person doing something that's embarrassing, don't you feel embarrassed for them
Yes.
like you did?
Yes. Yes.
So knowing that you wouldn't want to do anything that's gonna make
Uh-huh.
other black people feel embarrassed or feel like, oh my God, you didn't set us back 200 years,
Uh-huh.
right? Right?
Uh-huh.
All right. So
So just because we fall, that does not mean I have to put my foot on that person's neck. It's just like a child. When your child start riding the first time riding a bike, they was on training wheels, right?
yeah,
And I remember
yeah.
when you had the whole entire helmet on your child to make sure that your child wouldn't hurt themselves. So when that
Kanye ain't
child
no child.
fall, I'm just saying, when that child fall, you pick that child back up. You're not going to
Kanye,
set and put your foot on that person's neck. Just say with us, if we none of us are righteous. None of us are righteous people. We all fall.
yeah,
We
I
all
agree.
fall. Ain't none of us on this earth. If you say that you are a righteous person and you follow all the laws on this earth and all the laws in the Bible, spiritual, physical, whatever, then you're a lie. Because each and every day, Paul said that every time he tried to do good, evil is forever present. So just because I make a foolish mistake, that does not mean that it's over for me.
No,
And that does
we
not
not
mean
we're
that
not
I got to put my foot on that person's neck.
we're not persecuting him. We're not sending him to jail. We
It's
just
no,
not
they
going to sit
nailing
there.
him to the cross because
No,
everything that he said, that if he speak against the machine, everything that he said,
but
he proving his
but
point. If
but
I don't say what they
let me
want
ask
me
you
to
this.
say, they gonna cancel me.
Let me ask you this. Is Kanye from whatever that's happening to Kanye right now? Is Kanye homeless now?
No,
Is Kanye refrigerator empty now?
no.
At the end of all this, Kanye still has more money in the bank than everybody on this video right now. So it ain't nothing hurting Kanye. Only thing that's hurting Kanye right now is now he ain't have he don't have the billionaire status. But at the end of the day, he's still gonna be a multi-millionaire. So it's not like he's not being nailed to the cross. He's being held accountable for his actions, and it's not just because of what he just said. It's accumulation of all the stuff from you started when you didn't have anything with a black woman, and then when you made it big, you sit there and dropped the black woman for the mixed girl, and then you
Mm-hmm.
drop the mixed girl for the Persian woman, and then for all the other white women or whatever. And then
Mm-hmm.
when stuff got bad, then it's oh man, my black people. So then we forgave you for that. So then you came back and you sit there and you had your beef. You didn't want to talk to your guy who put you on in the music industry, Jay-Z, because you felt you were too big for him. You started saying all kind of stuff about him and his wife. We forgave you
Wow.
for that. So then next thing you know, you lay low and you try to get back in our good graces, and you come on TV and you say George Bush doesn't care about black people. It's like, all right, well, we can let Kanye back in. Then you sit there and come with, oh well, slavery was a choice. We could have bought our freedom. Now we like, all right, we're gonna stop dealing with you a little bit. Then we don't cancel you. We just like, all right, man, your stuff is adding up. Then you come with this. And now we got to be like, all right, We tired of it now.
Oh, I'm trying to help you, Kanye, but I don't think I can help you with all this. Oh
we
my
not look.
God.
We're not persecute. We're not nailing you to the cross. We'll nail you to the cross. And be like, you know what? Your bank account tomorrow is going to say zero. Your houses you have are going to be gone. You're going to go move into a regular middle class home or whatever. The cars you have are going to be gone. We're going to give you a Buick LeSabre. You know, your clothes is going to be straight regular, sit there Walmart or whatever clothes. That that'll be sitting there. Even that, would you say if somebody gave you all that, gave you your house and gave you a new car and food in the bank, and you was you had $100,000, would you say somebody was nailing you to the cross?
Well,
That's
like
a
I
yes or
said,
no. That's a yes or no. Right
it's
now,
all
if I
depend.
gave you
It's
all
all depends. It
if
all
I gave
depends.
you all if I gave you all that right now, if I gave you a new middle class home,
Oh, I
I
got
gave
him.
you a
I got him,
Chrysler
yo. I got him. I got
I
him.
gave you a Chrysler 300, and I
Okay.
gave you $100,000 a year. Would you sit there and say, man, you know what? Y'all nailing me to the cross right now?
It all depends. It all depends because everything, much is given, much is required. And I don't know what your motives of giving me that. I'm not going to have you to give me this and lose my soul, because the devil did Jesus the same thing. He took him to the highest pinnacle and gave him the entire world. But what's the purpose of you trying to give me something that is already mine?
No, I'm not. I'm not talking about. I'm going to physically give you that. I'm saying if you went from a millionaire and now, all those cars and all that, now all you have left now because you got all that taken away. All you got left now is $100,000 a year and
Uh-huh.
a regular house and a regular car. Would you sit there and cry and sit there and say, "Oh, my life is so hard. I'm about to go kill myself because they're nailing me to the
No,
cross"?
no, I'm not gonna kill myself because like I said there and say $100,000. That's a lot of money. I could do a lot with that money.
So he ain't even nowhere
So
near there
I'm
with
not
the
gonna.
with the with
I
the
don't give a care
investments
what
he
it
lost.
is. Yeah,
So
that's true too.
he's good. We just ain't gonna make him no more money. You gonna just
Hmm.
now you better be wise with what you have left because we ain't gonna make you no more money.
But who does
Because
who to make? We got 8 more minutes. Who to make that call? To say
the
that we are
people,
not gonna do that. It's up to him if he gonna let them put him in that box.
well, right now he's still good. Whether he lose Adidas, uh, Cletus, or a baby fetus, he's still gonna be good. He's still gonna be better off than all of us. We just look. I don't have to wish you bad. As a Christian, I ain't gotta wish you bad. I just ain't messing with you anymore.
Okay, all
So
right. Just all right. Let's say because we got 8 more minutes. Okay, so just say, all right, how can he work with what he worked? Just say that all these major companies, Adidas, which he wanted out of Adidas, I didn't do my presentation because, like I say, this is a spare of the moment, but I'm sure that I'm going to grab you back. But just say all these big major giants, these big major corporations sat there and turned their backs on him. Should he just fall in a tower and just die, apologize, or just sit there and start building his own stuff?
to be honest, I
What
don't
would you
care.
do?
I
What
don't
would you
care.
do?
I don't care what he do because again,
I'm just saying,
he
what would you
he
do
had.
if you was his business advisor? What would you tell him to do? And I want you to be honest.
If I worked for him,
Hmm.
one, before I even get to the point, before if I worked for him, I wouldn't have let him got to where he is
But
or
now
act like
he's
he
there.
is.
Now he's there. How
So
would you handle it?
so so I would tell him now you're gonna have to go on it on your own. You're gonna invest your money yourself because you're not gonna have anybody who's gonna want to invest with you. So it's gonna be all out of your pocket, your liquid cash, not your net worth, your liquid cash that you have in the bank. Whether it be 100 million, 20 million. That's what if now you want to do that because you chose to go on it your own and you chose this route. There's better ways. You could have sat there and still started another company while still being under the umbrella of them, and then worked your way out of there. You don't quit a job before you have another job.
Mm-hmm.
and in the process, you don't quit a job before you have another job, and then throw the middle finger up to all the other employers, who could possibly sit there and give you a helping hand until you find another job. And that's what he
Mm-hmm.
did. He quit one job, didn't have another job, and then the people who could have been rocking with him to make sure your next job is successful, you threw the middle finger up at him.
Okay. All right. We got 5 more minutes. This is how I would have handled it. If I was Kanye business advisor, first of all, what I would tell him, I would ask him to tell me, what happened, what's going on. He would tell them like, all right, I'm making billions of dollars to these corporations, but they want to go behind my back and they want to make decisions without me. They don't even want me to sit at the board. And I cannot have a type of business, be a part of a business where they making all the decisions. So I want out of it. They don't want me out of my contract. My clothes, I have no say of my clothes, my shoes. So I want out of this contract, but they're not letting me out. So I have a large follower. I have over millions of followers that is buying these shoes and buying my clothes. So I need to talk to my followers. So I need
And
to make a big stink so I can get out of this contract.
and I
So I
would
think that was his cry. He was the voice that was crying out in the wilderness. Nobody didn't hear him until he did some stupid stuff. So now
well,
they're trying to
Kanye,
say that he's crazy. How can you say a person that have made is now made billions of dollars for a dying corporation? Now Adidas, maybe in Walmart, they're the ones gonna be in Walmart. Them shoes might be in Walmart.
if
So
well, for one, Kanye should, if that's how his contract was laid out, Kanye should have fired his business
and
partner
he
because
did. He did. I didn't.
well, he should have known. Kanye was already in business before the Adidas and all the other
Mhm.
investment deals, and he know that if you're gonna sit there and go and get in bed with somebody like that, you don't sit there and give your entire company to them.
He
You
don't.
you
He
ask
he
you
owned his
ask
company. That's the
you
good thing
ask,
about it.
you ask for shares and you ask for a board seat, and
Hmm.
that's your terms. So if
Hmm.
he didn't sit there and ask for that, which I highly doubt, he didn't ask for a board seat for his own stuff, his own company with Adidas. I highly doubt he just gave them the company and just took the money and said, "Hey, look, y'all see fit. I'm just gonna have my name on there." I'm pretty sure he had a board seat. It
He
has
said he
nothing to
didn't.
do.
He said he didn't.
Yeah,
He
you
said he
believe that?
didn't.
You
Well,
believe?
we'll talk about that later. But
Okay,
I
so
had
so
got the
you right
tweet where
now,
he said he didn't.
right now, Lady D's cookies and champagne company just started up right now, and
Hmm.
Terrell
Don't say your
works with
government.
Betty.
Don't say your government name.
No, they don't know who Terrell is. He works with Betty Crocker, and he wants to invest. He wants to sit there and invest in your company right now. Are you gonna give me your whole entire company?
Hmm.
Are you gonna give
No,
me your whole entire? What are you gonna ask for? You gonna ask
I,
for
I, we're gonna
thirty
start
percent,
talking about percentage. Yes,
and then you're gonna ask for what, a board seat, and you gonna ask for,
yes.
you want 49 shares so that you can be um, a minor partner, not a majority owner, but a minor owner or whatever. So if you know this and you're not a millionaire, don't you think he knows that with all those people he has working for him that negotiates the contracts, that hey, look, we're gonna go with Adidas, but we want
Mhm.
we want a board seat, not on Adidas, but you want a
He said
board
he
seat for
wasn't.
your
He
company.
wasn't. We're gonna have to talk about this
And
later because we got one more
and
minute. But
and he
we're
also
gonna
said
talk
white
about this
lives
later.
matter. And he also said white lives matter. You believe that too?
No, well,
Okay.
when white lives matters never mattered. We already know they matter. All you have to do
Yeah.
is look around.
Yeah.
Everything is
So
white. Everything is white. So we know
so
white
so
lives
so you
matter.
don't so you don't believe him when he say that, but you believe him that he said he didn't have a board seat?
I didn't. Well, I think see how you're trying to do
Yeah,
me. You see what
yeah.
you're trying. I see what you're trying to do to me. I see exactly what you're trying to do me. But that's all right. That's all right. I'm gonna show you the tweets. I just didn't have time to go ahead and lay my presentation because this right here was a spare of the moment. But I enjoyed every bit of it. And look, we're gonna have to do this again because see, look, I'm not gonna let you sit there and look, I'm a winner. I can't let you win this battle. You see what I'm saying? We're gonna have to battle this out again.
Well,
We
look,
definitely
the battle is not yours; it's the Lord.
yeah, that's true too. That's true too. So on that note, guys, thank you, Moochie, for joining my live. Look, we're gonna have to have part two of this because, like I say, this is too much. I'm gonna make sure that I have my presentation laid out and my facts, so we can go ahead and pull them receipts out. And thank you, college graduate, always support me, holding me down, guys. And if you're coming on late or whatever, make sure you go ahead and hit like, comment, and share these videos for more unapologetic content. So on that note, look, Moochie, you make sure you go ahead and hold it down, 10 toes down, and cook that food, whatever you are in there doing. You see what I'm saying? So I'm gonna go ahead and talk to you later, okay?
All right,
All right, be blessed.
bye.
All righty. So guys, look, I enjoy my son every time when he comes on. We always just holding it down. But like I said, we all have a right to agree to disagree. And trust me, it will be a part two on this. So I done did my little hour, guys. So I'm gonna go ahead and close it up. And on that note, you all have a blessed day. Peace out.